spandex opens and closes. So when when Copperfield and a guy named Michael disappears, they go in the spandex. It opens up like a tunnel and closes back up. But you can't see that when the mirrors spring up. And someone said that when they went, a girl disappeared on the platform. And they have a backstage set that looks like a realistic Hawaii. Buddhist and Practical Jokes did something similar. But Evan Man, Dick Clark and Evan Man, Buddhist and Practical Jokes. They tricked the soap opera guy. Well, there's some children were having fun on the dirt mound. And one sea mixer went by, and it was, and then it got done and it left. Then it took a while for it to come back. And then I was just thinking, they need to have two of them. And as soon as I said that, here comes the second one. And I was like, oh, they did think of the same thing. So, and they got twice as much done with the two sea mixers. Cement trucks. They're about the same color too. One kid riding his bike. But like I said, for the Port Illusion, Mitch Larry said, Bill, notice all those light bulbs on top of the platform. So when I used Mr. Story's good binoculars when we went to Christ Hall in Norfolk, Virginia, all of a sudden I saw air holes, like a grid, and then all of a sudden it disappeared, and then it showed up again. So I put together. Those are spring-loaded mirrors. They pop up, and then the light bulbs reflect in there to look like you're looking at the back, and all the light bulbs are around it. Then it goes back down again so quick, and you're really seeing the back. That is one clever thing, and it's based on Guy Jarrett's illusions. Those illusions, 20th century magicians like Doug Henning and Copperfield, Lance Bernard, Franz Roy, Harry Blackstone Jr., where you get the idea of Penn and Teller, they used these illusions. But back in the day, Guy Jarrett didn't get any response from magicians in that day, in Houdini's day, Howard Thurston, Harry Keller. They didn't see the potential. But magicians in the 20th century saw the potential. A lot of those illusion principles, even Randall Westbury and Paul Osborne, have used to this day, and other magicians too. Including Doug Henning and David Copperfield, Lance Burton. Where you get the idea? There's spandex that opens and closes fast. I mean, they go down like in a tunnel. And like someone commented, he put that mirror, the mirror that he mentions, like he says, I sold this from 7-Eleven and all that stuff. Anyway, that's misdirection. That mirror is there, so you can't, well, they make it like you can see all around. But that mirror is to do something. It makes you, somehow it hides the information and doesn't reveal nothing. Copperfield and his illusion crew are pretty clever. They come up with these ideas. And they're born-again Christians. Even his crew are born-again Christians. The Pendragons, Jonathan Pendragon, Mastro the Magnificent, karate expert, TV stunt double, is a born-again Christian. So is Charlotte Pendragon, lady illusionist, escape artist. And Jonathan's also a escape artist. think she does TV stunt doubles too, I think. Anyway, Siegfried and Roy, all everybody used Guy Jarrett's illusion ideas. Rand Woodbury, Osborne, and they've added their own little twist to them. Rick Thomas, Drew Thomas, well, you get the idea. And then to the First Lady of Magic, Princess Tanko, Rebecca Yin, Krista Lambert, Chris Angel, David Blaine. Trying to name them all. Paul Daniels, Debbie Henning. A lot of people don't know this, but maybe they do. But if they don't, Doug Henning's wife, Debbie Henning, doubled in some of his illusion switcheroos. Just like for Copperfield, it was a guy illusionist, Christopher Hart illusionist, who doubles in Copperfield's illusions. He said so on his website, and in the encyclopedia it talks about he doubles in Copperfield's illusions, including the first part of the Great Wall of China. And I put it together that he was Christopher illusionist helped for the imploding building illusion. Copperfield's already done out, and he's behind the video cameraman. And then he goes behind the cement post after they showed it empty. And the chain on the safe and the hand coming out, trying to get to the lock to pick it. That's Christopher Hart illusionist playing Copperfield's hands, and as Copperfield has all that time misdirection, isolation of interest perspective view, as Franz Roy Lance Burton mentions on the Science of Magic, on that saying, it goes for everything, every illusion. Anyway, close-up or state illusion or parlor or mind reading, one step ahead of the audience. Anyway, the camera pans away, and the guy that's dressed up like the guy with the white helmet, he stays and Copperfield goes down the stairs. That's when the camera zooms back, and you can't see much detail. And eventually all the crew workers and street workers and all that, and the policemen, all goes TV stage to the left, where the guy in the back who was looking at the building and turned back around and kept walking, like in a huddle of like bowling pins, he goes to TV stage right, like he's about to change into Clark Kent Superman. And then he reappears on a thin steel platform. But meanwhile, before the building implodes, after one minute, before that 1 minute mark, Christopher Hart illusionist gets out of the building, runs down the stairs, and gets into a side door van, and they drive him to a safe location. And then they said, he's out of there, but they think that's Copperfield. He's out of there, that's all they say. And then they blow the building up. And then Copperfield magically appears on a thin steel platform with a black X on it. It's an orange sheet, like the Gorpy Ghost idea. Ralph Adams' Lifetime in Magic, with Harry Blackstone Jr. forward on the black art lighting principle. Dead black against dead black is after a shadow with a purple light. Copperfield even used it for the purple lights in the Statue of Liberty. Anyway, anything bright will stand out, anything in the black. It'll be invisible to the human eye. Now, if you use night vision and night vision plus and infrared for body heat and engine heat, that would show a lot of things, but Copperfield didn't want to allow that kind of camera stuff there. He used Polaroid still cameras so that the shutter would be going at a certain speed so that the girls would be enough light, shutter light, around the statue to now not be able to see a now darkened statue. Because now you see the statue, now you don't when they cut the lights off. And Troy Summers, who's a good photographer, a church member at church, he read that and he said, yep, that's correct. And Mark Taylor said, boy, that Copperfield's clever. I said, yeah, he sure is, but also the people behind the scenes, too. Including Undercole, Born Again Christmas, helped the Statue of Liberty, floating over the Grand Canyon, probably Niagara Falls, too, you never know. Copperfield didn't go over Niagara Falls. He gave the illusion of going over Niagara Falls. Those were realistic mechanical hands moving up and down with the chains, and the feet slowly going inward. Meanwhile, before the raft goes over, lands, they lower it by a crane into the water. Before they do that, he said, David, are you all right? I'm fine. Start the fire, or light the fire. So they light the raft on fire. It has a jet ski on it. Meanwhile, the guy that gives the thumbs up, that's Copperfield. He looks like the rest of the crew guys. And he has plenty of time to get into the helicopter and then hang on to a rope and come upward. Over the Niagara Falls. And on the steel platform, it's either roller shade mirrors or just a mirror at angles. Or as Jonathan Pendragon mentioned, Master and Magnificent, a periscope table. Or it's another illusion that Jim Steinmeier did. And Andrew Evans took the idea of the periscope table and made a clearly sawing a lady in half. And now another magician uses the same principle. Andrew Evans. Look him up on YouTube, Andrew Evans, illusionist. And quantum physics or something like that. And Guy Kramer, quantum stealth, thinning, magnet visibility, nanobots, metamaterials, hyper stealth. He does things about invisibility. You could use those underneath the two sawhorses. He's on YouTube and Google too. In the military, want to use his ideas. Now you see the Army tanks, now you don't. Stuff like that.